traversed as smoothly and securely as possible, and therein lay the importance of connectivity to history. It was the pathways that facilitated mobility and migration which determines its course. Who used them, who dominated them, who leveraged them, who blocked them. These have been the ups and downs of societies and nations over time. Nadi itself was often the connectivity. And today, as we gather alongside one of the great rivers that courses our land, how to connect peoples more effectively is an appropriate subject to discuss. The extent of success in doing so will determine our prosperity, and we carry forward our deliberations bearing in mind that connectivity, commerce, culture, and capacity are the core objectives of the Asian Confluence. Better connectivity is central to improving the ease of doing business and the ease of living, both key priorities of the Modi government. When done with imagination and on scale, it can actually have repercussions far beyond the immediate issues of the day. So, with Guwahati as the location, let us consider the enormous promise that it holds, not just for the region and our neighbors, but even for the geographies beyond. To comprehend that fully, ponder for a moment on the impediments that we need to overcome. The most formidable and long-standing are the physical barriers of topography. But then, as we have increasingly come to realize, these can be solved by engineering and human ingenuity. There are then the human-made obstacles, the outcomes of choices that we ourselves have made in the past. These are best addressed by a vision that realizes the shared gains offered by regional cooperation. And when it comes to the process of connecting, then the broader our definition of that bonding, the more effective will be its impact. Connectivity may have started with roads and waterways, or as the minister said, river roads. But today, we also conceptualize it as power grids and data corridors, education and tourism, and as energy flows and cultural contacts. In fact, anything that connects is connectivity. Now, what happens when we are successful? And that is not a hypothetical question, because we can already see before us evidence of some progress. For a start, an India that is more connected to the Northeast, and a Northeast that is more connected to India's neighbors will mean a complete transformation of the regional economy. Instead of being regarded as a frontier, it will emerge as a hub in itself. Its resources and skills will have a larger and more ready markets. The supply lines in and out will be shorter. The outlets to global access would be diverse and manifold. The intensity of economic activity will rapidly deepen because it will capture many more segments. Bear in mind too that in the long history of the Indian subcontinent, its high points were periods when the East was the most prosperous. Today too, our national resurgence is directly connected to the economic revival of the East. The coming together, therefore, of the Act East and the Neighborhood First policies have an enormous reinforcing impact. And it is one that extends beyond the confines of South Asia. The realization of the potential of BIMSTEC is one example, and the Thai Vice Minister spoke about it, is one example that will change the Bay of Bengal. But think what happens if land connectivity through Myanmar and a sea connectivity through Bangladesh become viable. on a commercial scale a world all the way to Vietnam and Philippines. From Haiphong to Hazira and from Manila to Mundra will open up, creating an east-west lateral with sweeping consequences for the continent. It will not only build on the partnerships that we have with the ASEAN and Japan, but will actually make a difference to the Indo-Pacific economic framework that is now in the making. It is definitely within our ability to overcome geography and rewrite near history if only we can get the politics and the economics right. And as the Chief Minister pointed out, we can draw strength from our history in this regard. So let us see how this vision can be realized, can be achieved in real life on the ground. The starting point, I believe, is enhancing connectivity with Bangladesh, especially with the Northeast. The restoration of the 6 historical cross-border rail links, dormant since 1965, is one major step. Once operational, the Shahbaz to Mahishashan link will be extended